going on, everyone? We are back with another In Search of Darkness horror movie review. I'm Depraved.
I'm Hellcat.
And together we are...
Hella Depraved.
Yes, we are. And excited...
to bring you 1982's Basket Case.
Yeah, we get to talk about Basket Case, which was better than I thought it was going to be.
It was much better. He wasn't reticent to watch it.
No.
I was. And it was definitely better than I thought it was going to be.
So here's the thing. This is not my first time I've seen Basket Case. It is my first time seeing it and paying attention.
Okay.
It's been on in background stuff. I've never fully paid attention to it, but I've always thought of it mentally as being a good, bad movie at most.
Right.
In the vein of, think like Toxic Avenger.
Oh, okay. Toxie.
Like, I thought it was going to be like, do I know that movie's bad? Yes. Do I still like it? Hell yes.
Toxic Avenger, yes.
Toxic
absolutely.
Avenger's ridiculous, and I still enjoy it. And that's what I thought at most this was probably going to be going into.
Yeah, from the little clips that I had seen before, I was like, yeah. But
yeah, so Rotten Tomatoes, 77% from critics. That's only on 26 reviews, though.
Okay. Still pretty high.
54% from 10,000 plus.
That makes more sense to me. Okay.
People watching it. It looks like... It doesn't have really any info on the Rotten Tomatoes page. It says it had a budget of $35,000, which you definitely could tell in parts.
Yeah. Now we know this is iconic, so it definitely made that back. It doesn't tell us how much it made.
Yeah, it doesn't say how much it made it back. And it probably did not make that back on initial release.
Probably not.
It over time type shit. Like, it's probably sold at this point enough DVD
it's
copies.
It's a cult classic at this point, yeah.
That it's probably made that back now. Movies directed and screenplay was written by Frank Henenlotter.
Right.
Yeah. Produced by Arnold H. Buck, Edgar Levins, and Tom Kay. Cinematography done by Bruce Torbay. Or Torbit. I don't know how they pronounce that. Edited by Frank Henenlotter. Music by Gus Russo. Production company.
Basket Case.
Basket Case Productions.
Surprise.
Alright, and distributed by so many different people over the years.
Now, is this a Canadian one? Isn't it?
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
It was released April 7th, 1982. And yeah, that is...
Okay.
no, it's American.
Okay.
1982 American horror movie.
Alright.
So... Hit him with the plot, baby. If you can.
This is interesting. So, this young man arrives at a flea bag hotel type thing to get a room with
Is it like the trashiest
picnic basket.
New York hotel
Yeah, very
ever?
trashy. And right away is pegged as a newcomer to the city. He pulls out a wad of cash. I mean, he just looks clean cut. Like, you can tell that the people standing around the owner of the hotel are ready to rob him, kind of thing. Goes up, is talking to something in his hotel room. Like, you're kind of unsure what's going on. Feeds his basket. Like, he's tossing huge amounts of hamburgers and stuff, and you hear nom 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 nom. It's kind of a funny noise, guys. It's funny. So what you come to find out that this young man is in town to hunt down two doctors, let's say. One is...
3. 2 doctors and a vet.
I thought it was,
one
doctor, one vet.
It was 3 people that were working together.
Okay. Well, he's already killed one doctor.
Right.
So, he's hunting down these 2 people in the city that have to do with a case file that he's carrying. You're not entirely sure what's going on at that point. He gets in to see one of the doctors. You see this huge scar down this young man's side. Like, the doctor starts freaking out, calls the vet. He's like, this person's in town. Like, it's not good news. She's like, calm your tits. I'm on a date. It actually sounded like she was plying that person with booze. It was a weird situation there. But he's in town, this young man, to kill these 2. And that comes...
That's not really him in town.
Well, he's there as part of the plot to kill these two. And he is talking to his basket the whole time about this. And then the receptionist catches his eye at one of the doctor's offices, asks him on a date. He wants to take it. So he brings a little TV into his hotel room, and all of a sudden this head with arms comes out of the basket. You're like, that's what's been eating and what he's talking to. So anyway, story comes out that he was a Siamese twin at birth, except for his brother was more of a parasitic twin. So it was just basically the head and arms.
Sticking out of the side.
Right. And unfortunately, during the birth, their mother died, and their father blames them for killing her and hates this parasitic twin. And when the two of them are 10 years old or so, the father has tried every other actual reputable doctor to get them separated, and resorts to this team of 3, one of which is a vet, who basically are just underhanded and will do anything for a buck to separate the parasitic twin from his, what he considers, normal son.
While the caretaker's out.
While the aunt that actually cares for the two of them is away. Yeah. So, she returns to find the father dead. The parasitic twin
this was actually almost a really sad moment in the movie.
They are separated, and then the father hears noises in the basement, and the parasitic twin is alive and well, and splits the father in half with a saw. And the aunt comes home and finds both of them, tells both of them that she loves them, takes care of them until she dies naturally. And that's apparently when they decided to go hunt down the people that separated them. The more normal twin can hear his parasitic brother telepathically. He can no longer speak mentally to his brother. He speaks out loud. But he used to be able to before they were separated. You find out that Belial, which is what they have named the parasitic twin, is basically a big ball of rage. Basically. And is a grievance collector and is ready to take revenge. And thinks that his brother going on dates and trying to have sex and so on with this receptionist is desertion. And that he should also get in on the action. He escapes from his basket. He goes and
does what his version of what a snuggle struggle would be.
To the receptionist.
Killing her in the process.
The chick that his brother was trying to get it on with. Yes, he goes to the same woman while she's asleep in her own house. And when she wakes up screaming,
he chokes her.
And the normal twin finds him in there, finds her dead, is so distraught over it that they get into an argument on the way back to the hotel. They go up in the room, still fighting, and during the fight they end up going out the window, and both of them drop to their deaths.
I think the actual human brother dies way before that. They don't necessarily go out the window and just fall straight down. The
parasitic twin is holding on.
Belial's holding on to a sign, but also holding on to his brother's neck.
Well, and ends up choking him accidentally because he doesn't want to drop him, yeah.
Right, and then he lets go, and they both fall and splat.
Right.
Sounds weird? It is.
It is weird. It is weird.
Some fun little plot things, and by fun, I mean, this is definitely, again, one of those movies that are intentionally made to be so far fucking out there.
Yeah.
With everything. You get some of the weirdest camera cuts.
You do.
Worst and weirdest camera cuts. You get some of the most random and unnecessary info dumps. Not even exposition.
Dumps.
Info dumps from characters that don't really matter.
Yeah.
Like when he first is going up to his new place that he's staying at for a couple of days, one of the people are coming down the stairs, runs into him, turns around and starts talking to him, and walks him basically almost all the way to his room.
Turns around and runs off.
And almost mid-sentence, stops, turns around and just walks the fuck off.
And you never see her again.
And you do. She's the lady that was screaming ridiculously throughout most of the movie when things would happen.
I thought that was, okay, well, yeah. Anyway.
But
there's some really weird stuff like that you're just like, okay.
People just walk in the scene, say like 10 really quick sentences, and then disappear.
Bye-bye. Yeah. Well, and that happens a lot at the very beginning, and you're like, is this how the whole movie's gonna go? Because this is kind of weird.
People don't act like this in real life.
Right. Especially New York's strangers. Like, city dwellers don't just, like, this is not right.
The acting in this is some of the most terrible acting I've ever seen in my life, but it's so entertaining.
A lot of it's not normal. It's
because
not normal,
of
y'all.
how bad it is.
Right. Right.
The main guy, the thing he does best is portray himself as being extremely socially awkward.
He does do well at that. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Other than that, like the receptionist.
Well, and like it's
I
ludicrous
can't even
how
say
quickly they hit
I
on
can't
him and...
even say it's unrealistic anymore after watching that X Factor duet of that
was really
extremely
cute.
adorable couple that is so sickening. Because that's how she was acting.
Yeah, except for like this.
But poorly. She's like there's this one moment where it's the first time they go out together. And he looks at her and he's like, I don't want you to get mad, but I don't even want to walk around the city.
I just wanted
to be with you. And she's like, oh, you goof? That's the same thing for me. I don't care if we're out here doing this. I just want to I just want to spend time with you. And she says it in a way, and she's all fluttering her eyes and
over dramatic.
And I'm just like, oh my god, throw her in the water.
Right.
She reminds me of the really clingy chick in Full Moon High.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the chick that chases it. Yeah, she does. She's thirsty, y'all. She's thirsty.
She's like, I don't find everyone attractive that comes in here.
I don't know. I kind of feel like he had virgin written on his forehead, and that's what she was...
attracted to? Because
she hit on him in the doctor's office. Like, hardcore.
Right.
So, I don't know. I mean, like...
I also think it's weird that his brother can feel him doing things.
It's the
from across the
connection.
state.
Yeah, well, city, I mean.
City, state.
Yeah, I mean, when he's fooling around his...
Like, when they're within proximity of each other, I can understand that.
Belial gets upset, and... I don't know, I just feel like...
So we got a really short cast for me to go over for you guys. Kevin Von Hentrinick is Dwayne. He's the main guy. Terry Suzanne Smith is Sharon. Beverly I will never, ever say Sharon's name
without Sharon. Right,
okay. Thank you, Ozzy. Beverly Bonner. I'm going to say Bonner. Very well could be Boner, but I think it's Bonner.
It's Bonner.
As Casey.
Right.
Robert Vogel as the hotel manager. Joe Clark as Brian Mickey O'Donovan. Lloyd Pace as Dr. Harold Needleman. Bill Freeman as Dr. Julius Lifflander. Diana Brown as Dr. Judith Cutter.
Yeah.
And then a couple uncredited people. Who's Jerry Butler, and why are you the only one with a blue name? Oh, he was a porn movie star. Okay.
All right.
He was in 500 fucking porn. Okay.
All right.
He's getting it on. Anyways, that's the cast. As far as special effects, they were so bad. Again, though, in all the best ways. This is one of those movies. Now,
honestly, Belial looks like Toxie, like just shoulders up.
Right. There is one scene in the movie, and I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, they only really did this once, where you actually see Belial moving on his own, and they did it using stop animation.
Oh, yeah.
And they actually did a really good job with the stop animation. I mean, you definitely could tell stop
Yeah,
animation.
but it was
But like the way the like TV would roll with things and the pencil across the floor, and they did a really good job with it, especially for the time.
But a lot of it was terrible.
But like, you definitely see like when somebody's wearing gloves when they're doing it from Belial's point of view, and he's doing things. You could definitely tell anytime Belial was interacting with people, whoever it was he was interacting with was controlling what he was doing.
Right.
It didn't look like they were really being attacked. It was so weird and done. And the weird snuggle struggle scene at the end, special effects.
I mean, like, there's two. He sneaks out and tries to go to the next door neighbors in the hotel, and she wakes up screaming, and like, Belial's a menace. But yeah, the second one, like, I had questions afterwards. I was like, who's bleeding? And where from? And why?
Right. It was just really, really weird.
Right. The choking, not so much. I get that. Like, he's in there.
He freaked out.
She freaks out, and he freaks out, and he chokes her to make her stop screaming. I get that part, but like, yeah.
So that's actually going to bring us to...
Ow. Yeah.
Our judgment, baby. Go ahead and judge it.
I'm giving this a 2 baskets out of 5.
2 baskets out of 5.
Now, was it worth watching? Yes. Even with that low of a score, it's iconic. It is a cult classic. Honestly, interesting storyline. I really think it's an interesting story where you've got the one normal twin who honestly was sort of like epitomized naivete, and he's sort of pure-hearted. He's socially awkward. He's kind to all the people he meets. He wants to get out there and meet people. And then you've got the parasitic twin that epitomizes this like ball of wrath. He's not a nice dude. He's not nice to his brother. Like, it's made clear that he keeps his brother up talking, that like he's the plotter in all of this. Like, you know, yeah.
So, when going into my rating, I want people to understand, I don't think this movie is a legendary, top of the hill. No, it's a bad movie.
It's just a good bad movie.
It's just a really good bad movie. And it actually probably, again, at least does rank up there in the good bad movie section for me, with the likes of like Toxic Avenger. I still think Toxie's better.
I think Toxie's better.
Because he's way more violent. But
it's just, and it moves faster. Like, I don't know. It's not my attention span. It's the amount of story I get.
What I love about this movie is it feels like, and I could be wrong. Obviously, I don't know people's headspaces when they're doing things. But I feel like this is a group of people that tried so hard to act. And it accidentally comes off as funny.
Right. Like they were trying to be serious.
Like they were trying to be serious.
And it's funny.
And it comes off as... I could be wrong. They could have intentionally overacted on purpose. I mean, it was a big thing for that time, too. Evil Dead. But...
Right.
It was entertaining, and like there are some things that we didn't mention. Like there's one guy when after Belial wrecks the room because he's all mad.
Right. There's a thief that goes in to raid it. And
there's a guy that sees money in there when everybody goes in to see what the hell's going on, and he comes back and goes to steal the money and ends up getting killed for it.
I mean, it's fun. So I mean, Belial does get the job done. He ends up killing all 3 doctors.
Yep.
He ends up killing the receptionist. He ends up killing the thief who comes into the room. And in the very end, he ends up killing his brother and then himself.
He's effective.
And his dad.
Pretty nice body count.
He was,
But over and above all, I am giving this, hopefully I can find it, 3 Belials out of 5.
Okay.
3 Belials.
All right.
If not, Toxic Avenger heads. Just because.
Yeah,
but
they're close.
I will try to find 3 Belials.
I mean, like, I do like that this ends up being a tragedy at the end. Like, I do like that this ends up being not one of the happy endings. It's a horror movie, but it's also, this is what happens when you live your entire life for vengeance. You end up poisoning everything around you, even the good elements. So, he takes out the receptionist and he accidentally kills his brother. And neither of those were in his plans, and they were both good things. So, I like that that's how this ended. I would be kind of pissed if that's not how it ended.
Now, what I am interested in, because here's the thing. It says here, right, that its themes and interpretations. John Kenneth Muir argued that Basket Case examines the topic of abortion, highlighting a flashback scene that depicts Belial indisputably alive, being discarded in a trash bag.
Right.
Is a deformed monster such as Belial actually worth saving? Should he have been mercifully terminated rather than forced to live as he is? A thing more than a man. Basket Case hedges its bets and appears to come down on neither side of the pro-life, pro-choice equation. On the one hand, Belial is a murderous, nasty little bugger, but on the other, he's clearly capable of expressing love.
And would he have been a murderous, nasty little bugger if his dad hadn't had him chopped off and discarded alive in a trash bag?
Right.
Plus, at that point, he had lived the entire, 10 years of their life hearing that his dad hated him. And going to all these doctors being told he was parasitic. And honestly, the only two people that loved Belial were the aunt and his twin.
Right.
So again, I like the themes that are brought up in this, because I don't think it's just abortion. I also think it's embracing differences. Like, you see the aunt is just like, I want to raise both of you. Like, she doesn't exclude Belial because of what he is, like what he was born as. I like all of that. And like I said, I like that it turns out as a tragedy. I just think it was so poorly done that's why my ranking is so low. Yeah, come for me. Seriously.
Don't worry, I'll find her a Belial puppet.
No, but it's just gonna be like a amorphous thing with eyeballs. Like, thank you now.
Apparently, it played as a midnight movie for several years after it came out.
I think it's worth watching, guys. And again, I like the storyline. I like everything that is in it. I like the way it ended. But I just I didn't like how it was done.
Now this is cool. In March 2017, Basket Case was selected for preservation and restoration by the Museum of Modern Art. Henenlotter provided MOMA with the film elements required for the restoration, including the original 16mm camera negative from which the restoration would be sourced. In addition to the film's footage being restored in 4K resolution, its audio also underwent a restoration using the original magnetic tracks of the sound mix as the source.
That's kind of cool.
That'd be awesome.
Anyway.
All right. So that is going to do it. Again, I love this movie. But I love how bad it is. I think
it's amusing.
This is again, you have your good movies that are good.
Horror is the
you have good movies that can be bad.
Good bad.
You have bad movies that can be good, and then you have bad movies that are just bad. And this is one of those bad movies that
is good. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. That is going to do it. Join us next time as we review what I think, if I remember correctly, is Poltergeist is the next one we get to do.
I believe. Yeah.
And it'll actually probably, in my recollection, be the first time I will have watched it in a way that I'm paying attention fully.
Okay.
I've definitely seen it.
Yeah, me too. It's been so long that it'll be like watching it the first time, fully paying attention, because it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's probably been since, close to the 80s since the last time I
remember
saw
the
it.
synopsis. Like, I remember the storyline and some of the controversy around it.
I know I was this close to watching the remake.
Right.
And then everybody shit on it. Talked about how bad it was. So I was like,
at some point I'll watch the remake too, but yeah.
Right. All right, guys, that's going to do it. We love y'all. We'll see you next time. Bye.